Hello and welcome.
Oh no, not
Hello.
mistakes.
Welcome to Question Block, Secret Loft's tonight at least historical talk show. Secret Loft's interactive talk show.
It will go down in history.
So yes, we're making history right now. So yeah, I will just say off the top of the show, you can join us at any time. If you're on Instagram, it's Secret Loft NYC. For those of you catching us on Twitch, we're on Instagram at Secret Loft NYC, and you can join us and talk with us about royalty. Have you heard of it?
Have you here? Can we bring this closer?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Cool.
We had a rushed tech rehearsal.
We did.
Get this fly. Takes a lot of time. Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
Twitch as well.
I always feel like my head is so much bigger than yours.
It is. Which is surprising because I am Louis XIV, the Sun King.
The Sun King.
The reincarnation of Jupiter.
What?
Yeah, I was painted as such. Ruling over
Apollo.
France with an iron fist. I guess he was. But they painted him as Jupiter all the time. I guess you're right. Apollo.
No, he was a reincarnation.
He had this giant. Can I do this?
Yeah, for a moment. I mean, that's
it's a little weird.
He would have wanted it that way.
He would have loved it. So we'll be talking about the French royalty and the Louis XIV.
Well, we actually
Versailles, my home, my lovely apartment.
We're really ambitious, because we're going to talk about all the royalties, like from always and ever.
This episode isn't just about Louis XIV.
No, sorry.
No limited French.
Yeah.
All right. Who else are we going to talk about?
Well, me. Do you know who I am?
The Cleopatra, the Queen of Egypt, the Hellenistic Queen of Egypt.
Yes, I'm not appropriating an Egyptian because Cleopatra was actually Roman.
So there.
Yeah.
So you're appropriating Italian culture.
But I am Italian.
So
in fact, if I was really, really I guess appropriate or doing a better homage, I would have tried to make my nose bigger, which I never do.
She did have a big nose.
She did a huge.
Ooh. There goes our disco ball.
No, that was just for when we were so it's fine.
Okay. And Cleopatra herself appropriated tons of Egyptian culture, so the people would love her, and she spoke Egyptian. So I heard.
Yep. Yeah, she did. I'm just hi everyone on Twitch as well. The Twitch looks really bright. Do you want to bring down the brightness a little bit?
It is pretty bright on there. All right, yeah.
Okay. And you can talk. Dr. Wires can talk to the Twitch people too.
Yeah, I'll be chatting with you on Twitch. Oh, I'll tell them where to have a check.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So if anyone wants to go live with us at any time, just ask and we'll say yes. We're really easy, just like Cleopatra.
Nasty. So who are the best royals? Since we're talking about.
I mean, okay, so
all royals
start.
Of their all time.
I'm trying to think of okay, so Imhotep and Nefertiti. I think that was his
Talking about Egyptians.
Well, I'm trying to think of the
Ancient.
furthest back. If we want to go the farthest back that I know.
We got Sumeria.
So we have Boudica. I think was one of the first. She was a warrior. They were all warrior people.
History is just full of wars.
Yeah.
No,
but they were warrior kings and queens back then.
Okay.
That's what you were.
I just know the Sumerians. So you had to have at least a stable civilization to leave behind some artifacts for archaeologists to find.
Wait,
so some stone
let's just
tablets
talk
or some
about
pottery or
we have so
something.
many people to talk. Okay, so we have Boudica. We have and she was a warrior queen. Very violent, a lot of violent, terrible things.
Yikes.
Then we have ancient Greece, and people might know Leonidas.
Sparta.
Spartans.
This is
Sparta. Yeah, that looks better on Twitch. Great. Hi,
There we
Twitch
go.
people.
Now we're looking handsome.
Yay.
Oh, I do have some fancy. We have beverages. We need to quench our royal thirst.
Yeah. So here's yours.
Thank you all.
Are you gonna pop the champagne?
Yeah, it takes it's a process.
Okay, so I'm not drinking champagne.
Interesting fact: Dom Perignon, the champagne, was that was the name of like an order of monks who like made sparkling wine.
Okay, were they royalty?
No.
Then we don't have time to talk about them. Okay.
The royals drank it. Okay.
That's what she said.
There's no time for non-royals.
So.
Yeah. So if people do check in with us, what will we be talking to them about?
Well,
you yourself don't have to know about royalty.
Yeah.
Just to be clear,
you can tell us your royal crush, your favorite movie or TV show about royalty. Please don't talk about Game of Thrones. I mean,
we're talking real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, history is so fantastic already.
You can also you can tell us who you're banishing or what you're banishing from your kingdom, which would be like something that you like don't want in your life anymore.
Exile.
Yeah. You're like it's like an I don't think so royal honey.
And a king or queen's decree also.
The king's speech, so you can give like a 1-minute speech. Yay!
To rally your nation for World War II.
Yeah. Exactly. Don't stutter.
Oh, that was a great film.
Yeah. It was so good. Oh my god. That comes a little bit later. Oh hey, David Ray Martinez.
The king of comedy voiceovers.
Yes.
David were royals this week.
Yeah.
Last week we were in the future.
Oh, cheers.
Now we're in the past. Cheers.
No, last week we were in high school.
Oh yeah.
Which is also the future because we're the youngest age
in middle school.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Oh yes, this is terrible future.
So yeah, this is the Spartans. Things that 300 got wrong.
Because we moved from the Egyptian.
No, Egyptians come after that. Kind of. Like they're...
No. Egyptians, pyramids built 2500 BC.
So, okay, you're right. The first Egyptians...
Sparta was around 400 BC.
That's right. Okay. So, like, the first... I just thought it would be less confusing if we, like, grouped it.
They're not going to follow it anyway.
So, the first Egyptians who built the pyramids, which is really interesting. The pyramids were built, like, an extremely long time ago. Like, Cleopatra is closer to our time than she is to the time of the pyramids.
Or Jesus. Jesus is closer to our time than to the pyramids.
Yeah. So the pyramids were just like this thing, this eyesore.
So old.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Yeah, in Jesus' time, people are like, what are those things? They're super old, dude. They're like 2,500 years old. And
they're like the elephant graveyard in the Lion King.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good metaphor.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we don't go over there that much. That's shadowy. They're like, let's go make out. There's like graffiti of hieroglyphics.
Yeah, teenagers sneak over the pyramid.
What would they write graffiti in? Would you just like chisel it?
Yeah, they've found like Roman graffiti. That is like a thing. They found.
What did
sometimes
it say?
Like the paint survives. There's one that it's basically a guy calling his friend an asshole, and he's like, "Mark is a fool."
Oh, hey!
Oh my goodness! Can you even see me?
Hello.
Oh, we can see like a car. Are you in a car?
I am.
Yes.
All right.
I just finished dropping off an old Jew.
Your old Jews, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had to drop them off. There's my face.
There you are.
Hello.
Hi. This is great.
It's great. Drive safely.
Oh yeah. Wait, you're being driven or are you driving?
I'm driving.
You're driving.
Looking at you, so
Yeah.
fine.
He's fine. This is talk radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay. You guys don't mind the silver light.
Oh no, this is great. Your car lighting is like better than our.
You look good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a good look. Oh.
Yeah, it's a good car look.
Nice.
So chiseling shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hurry up, come on, you got.
People write their names in cement now. It's the same
true.
thing.
But the pyramids, yeah, it's like, the pyramids. I mean, they were like dried by then, I think.
Well, they weren't. Yeah, they weren't graffitiing the pyramid. I was saying like I think in like Pompeii, because Pompeii got buried under lava, so it got restored, really, or it got like frozen in time basically, and they found like graffiti where someone's like, Brutus is a dick. He owes me money. Like, yeah, and they like chiseled it on a wall.
That's awesome. Yeah, I forget. There was like it was in some TV show where they had, it was like someone like dictating like a letter they wanted, and it was like hieroglyphics, and they were like sun, bird, guy going like this, like
eagle, yeah,
like small eagle, onk. The guy's like, do you have a favorite royal emperor, king, queen, princess of history of all time?
Wow.
I know, we made it really broad. We were like, we should have just picked one.
No, I mean, so number one is going to be me, because my middle name is Ray.
Yeah?
Yes!
Which means king.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess my second will be my son, which his middle name is King. And then...
Nice.
No, that's amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then I guess after that would probably become, he's a king to me. And I guess I would say the comedian Sinbad.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say not Sinbad, but the Kings of Comedy.
I was literally that was like on the I was like, oh, the Kings of Comedy.
Yeah. So
Well, no, I wouldn't say the Kings of Comedy.
No.
If I were gonna say, it would only be
Sinbad.
Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
I mean, Bernie Mac was the best out of that lot.
Bernie Mac was the best in that show.
And
Steve Harvey was like he's fine. Steve Harvey is a super accomplished guy. But.
Yeah, I mean the show Kings of Comedy itself was good for its time. Like it showcased all kinds of comedy. But yeah, Kings of Comedy, I would say Bernie Mac was number one. And then I guess there would be kind of a toss up. I mean Steve Harvey did an excellent job hosting, and that's what a host is supposed to do. Is supposed to bring the energy, keep the energy up.
That's what a king is supposed to do too. Just keep the energy up, keep the fighting down, energy, keep it positive.
That's a lot of what kings gotta do.
Yeah. So what would your middle name is King, right? So like, would you have like when people would say your full name, like it would be like,
what would be your full?
What would be your full title? Like royal title exactly?
Oh wow. I've never thought about that.
Cause yeah.
I mean, it would be.
Like if
I guess it would be King David Ray Martinez,
Oh right.
I mean, Ray also means son also. So.
Would it be like of whatever,
David Ray, like of the sun?
King David Ray of the bed.
Yes.
I love my naps. I'm so sleepy.
I love that.
I didn't take a nap. Well, I didn't take a full nap today, so I'm kind of like,
What?
King of naps.
The king of naps. Would your
king of naps. I'm sleeping naps. Not of naps in the hair because I don't have naps. I don't have hair.
Yes.
So.
Would your what would your like seal, your royal seal? Would it have like Z's on it, like for the naps?
Oh, it'd have naps in the sun. Maybe like a sun that's
asleep.
Oh, a sun with like one of those hats.
The seal will probably be a pillow with a feather bed.
Nice.
Yes.
That's pretty great.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, the king of slumber.
The king of I love.
One of my nicknames also is. My nickname is also Dubé. Also, I did an album of comedy songs under the name Dubé and the Funky Lovers.
That's amazing. That could be like your subjects. You call them the funky lovers.
would be your kingdom.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
my subject would be the funky lovers, yeah.
And you're like David Duvet Ray, King of Slumbers.
King of Slumbers.
So what are your king and what are your names?
So
I don't know if I missed that.
Oh. I mean, like, we have who we're impersonating, and then we have our, like...
I'm impersonating Louis XIV
Oh, where's your
France,
son? Get your...
The Sun King.
Also the Sun King, yeah.
I don't want to distract you, but I'm holding a giant sun.
Yeah.
Sun King, baby.
Louis XIV is the Sun King. Yeah, reincarnation of Apollo and or Jupiter, depending. Ruler of France. He was the longest reigning royal ever in history.
Yeah.
His reign was, I think, 76 years. He was the king of France.
Yeah. But he died around that age. So, yeah, I guess since he was born, he was, right?
Yeah, he was the king. He became the king of France when he was 4.
Yeah. And he invented ballet because he wanted to, like, show his calves off to other men. He was... But you would like this. He had a lot of the French royals. They had these bedtime rituals. Have you heard of these?
No one has heard of the French king's bedtime rituals.
So and like morning time rituals. So like he would every night and every morning he would have like 100 of his boys would like surround his bed, and like most of them would just like watch the important ones, like undress him and like brush his hair and like tuck him in, like give him a kiss or something.
He had the going to bed ceremony.
Yeah, he had it going. It was like 2 hours long, and then like every morning they would all stand around his bed and they would be like, "Oh, good morning! Oh, look, he's waking up!" And they would like put his pants on and like brush his teeth or whatever.
You also, unless you were a certain rank, you weren't allowed to speak to him.
Yeah,
you had to be a certain rank to even speak to him, and like. Yeah, he forced the entire royal court to move to Versailles, which would be like, it'd be like if you forced, like, if the mayor moved to Hoboken. And it was like, everybody has to come work in Hoboken.
Yeah.
And so they all had to go live there and, like, work there, and basically their job was to just, like, watch the king. I guess that's where Watch the Throne came.
Watch the Throne. Yeah, they just look at him and be like, oh my god. But yeah, the elaborate going to sleep and waking up rituals. And his bed was like super comfy and crazy. It had like the 4-post. It was like a 4-post bed with like, you can see it if you go to the Met actually.
And yet, with all those people around, had tons of affairs.
Anyway,
that's me. That's Louis XIV. I don't want to just talk about myself, even though I'm the greatest royal of all time. And then you're Cleopatra.
Yes, Cleopatra Ptolemy the 8th. Cleopatra the 8th. Because do you know that like just every woman was named either Cleopatra or Baroness back in my day. So like that was a really common name. It was
Oh no way.
Yeah, it was like there were just so many Cleopatras, and also or like I think my mom was like Baroness or something.
Oh.
Yeah, so Cleopatra was not Egyptian. She was from like
she was Hellenist.
She was Hellenist, so she was like Roman basically.
Yeah. She was descended from Alexander the Great's empire.
Yeah.
Another cool ruler.
So I am half Italian, and so like I'm like it's the closest. Yeah, I'm basically playing an Italian.
But if you were your own royal, what would you be?
If I was
like Queen Ariel.
Oh yeah, I would be Queen Arielist of the sky. Queen of the sky.
Queen of the sky.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then people would say. He would say, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Queen Arielist.
Nice.
That's good. Okay, so what would be your nighttime or daytime ritual?
Oh, I kind of so this is funny because you would be like Dr. Wire's like king of the night, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like a night person.
King of the night and electricity.
Yeah.
He's right there. Like your going to bed ritual, you'd draw the curtain.
Yeah.
You already have a going to bed
I
ritual.
kind of do, yeah. I'm like, we only can talk in whispers.
You light Palo Santo.
We light Palo Santo. We like make all the lights warm. But this would be in my whole kingdom. I'd be like, everyone lights Palo Santo. Only warm lighting will do, and everyone has to talk in a whisper and like just talk about like calming things for like the next like hour.
So you're trying to say I wouldn't be part of your thing?
You're
gonna be like, hey yo, it's crazy.
Oh, you can just totally like at night, yeah.
You're like, that's a daytime.
Crazy.
You're like, that's
but
a
then in the
thing.
morning, because the night ritual is so relaxing, the morning you're gonna be like, I'm like, it's morning, like so that would be there would be like dancing, like I'd be like, everyone has to leap out of bed. Let's go.
Yeah. Would you?
Everyone open the curtains.
Would you make your subjects do anything? Like.
Oh yeah, would you?
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would make my subjects do things that make them feel uncomfortable. As in, like, getting out of their norm.
I like that.
Like, I would be like, okay, if you're a shy person, no, you need to talk to 15 strangers today.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to check on all my subjects. If you need to talk to 15 strangers, I'll public shame you in some way or something.
Oh,
you know? Like,
what would be your punishment? Like what would be your, like, I guess, nicer version of...
I guess I would not hang him, but I would put him in, like, the square.
The stocks.
Oh, the stocks.
He'd have to pull over and, like, he'd have to talk to 50 people then.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you double it down.
Oh, so you
kind of... Like, you can talk to 15 by yourself.
Oh.
If you don't talk to 15, you're going to talk to 50 people.
That's great. And you make you're like, we're just going to, people will have to come and talk to him.
You're forcing them to...
So I think I would do that. My night ritual would be... I'm a perv, so I don't know.
Oh, no.
I might be a perv and be like... I don't know. Because, I'm weird with the sex, right? When I say I'm weird with it, I mean, like, if I love a woman, and there's nothing she can't do that won't make me horny. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So I would hopefully have a subject or a wife or whatever.
A concubine, I think they're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a harem.
Like, she's just washing the dish, and I'm just like, oh, that is so hot. Why you read it for? You don't read it turns me on, you know? Like,
I love that.
Brushing your hair. Girl, you done made my nipples hard brushing your hair. Like, everything.
I love that. Just with, like, I feel like maybe, correct if I'm putting fantasies in your fantasy, I feel like you'd have a bunch of, like, different props, like a hairbrush and, like, some dishes, and you'd be like, all right, have that, have at it.
If you're a king, you're not doing dishes.
Not doing, be like, choose which one.
Thank you for throwing in those facts.
Yeah.
You'd have to have...
I mean, so she would be doing things like, maybe getting her outfit out for the next day. Like I think when you truly love someone, anything they do when you're not fighting makes you happy. You're just like, wow, I didn't know I had such a hot woman.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, you're like, you go lay your clothes out.
Lay your clothes out.
Yeah, you're like, yo, you just gonna lay those clothes out like that? I'm sorry, you're gonna have to get that tonight.
Yeah.
Consensual.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you can get all of your harem to sign to be like, consent.
Well, when you're royalty, you have to produce an heir. It's like there's a lot of pressure.
True.
So they're probably banging all the time because you gotta like have those kids.
Yeah. Or a lot of them we found out like they didn't know how to.
It is true.
Legit, like Marie Antoinette's husband
did not
was
know
like
how to have sex for the first 7 years.
Your grandson, right?
My great
grandson.
Grandnephew. Yeah.
He didn't know how to have sex. He was basically like on the spectrum. He was obsessed with locks and keys. Like it was basically like the fidget spinner of like the 1700s,
cool.
I guess.
It's cool who gets to run countries.
Yeah. Right? Well, I mean, he was like, shut up. I have to open this. I just figured out how to like.
Yeah, and Parliament's like, we need the new tax reform done.
Yeah, and he's like, shh.
I'm going.
But yeah, Marie Antoinette was like, she was like, hey, what's up? I'm foreign. Like I'm young. Like let's. And he was like, I gotta open. I found a new key today or whatever. And then like. Then they didn't have an heir forever, and her brother had to come and like teach.
Her brother came and taught her husband how to bang her. This is true.
Yep.
This is history.
Yeah.
I mean, Cleopatra was married to both of her brothers
and killed both of them too.
He killed them though.
I mean, she should have.
Yeah, that's gross.
Like, I mean, I kind of understand the philosophy of keeping the royal bloodline going, but like, not that close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like your brothers and sisters. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's not.
You're already technically probably going to be the king anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually what happened. They made she seduced Julius Caesar so that he would fix things, and he was like, okay, fine. He was like, you and your younger brother, you can be like co-rulers. So he made, and then they weren't married, but.
Well, then your younger brother was like, no, and then Caesar's troops killed him.
Yeah.
So.
Politics is always messy. You know what? Yeah. But I agree with old school politics because it was like, yo, I don't like you, we gonna kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, old school politics was pretty simple.
They were.
Now we're too simple. Yeah. I think that's the thing that has happened with government, with the monopolization of the human, race. Because we're monopolized now. Like before, we would ever we don't like whoever's telling us what to do. We're gonna go to their office and get them out of there, and it won't even be considered a coup.
Yeah.
It'll be considered normal.
Yeah, and it'll just be like, oh, you got poisoned. Oops, sorry. Just.
We sliced his head off by mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, or King Henry VIII. He.
A lot of kings and things.
King Henry VIII was like, I'm gonna invent divorce, but also like the guillotine. So he'd be like, he was like, ooh, you're not producing me a male heir. I'm going to divorce you, but also I'm going to claim that you weren't a virgin when we got married, so I'm going to kill you. Just to make, because he was like, I guess he was like, divorce is a thing, but like it's still frowned upon, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, especially in the Catholic religion. I'm still officially married for people who don't know my life out there. So I'm still officially married. We're still married for, I guess we separated in 2011. And people always go like, wow, you guys separated so long. I'm just like, yeah, because benefits are really expensive in New York City. Yeah. Like, I would save her almost $1,000 a month on benefits. Because, like, my benefits, we don't pay for anything, no medical issue at all. Like, you get everything done, dental work, like, you can get lawyers. Like, we don't pay for anything.
That's awesome.
And all I do is contribute, give them $25 dues per week. And I'm like, why would I don't need her, so like, no need to. But I do feel I was born and raised as a Catholic, it did make me feel funny at first. Like I failed at a relationship now that is in record or on record that you failed this shit. Like it's not a other relationships, not like how girlfriend for years, broke up,
But people didn't live that long when they made, they wrote that in the Bible.
When they came up with marriage for life, they're like, yes.
Yeah, like 30, they're like 35,
20 years,
it's fine.
Yeah, you're going to get married at 13, you'll be dead by the time you're 40. It's not a big deal. Whatever, just have a couple kids and it'll be alright. Yeah. And like, you'll be fighting for survival most of the time. Anyway,
yeah.
So.
People are looking at Jesus like, yo, you old as fuck, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's 33. So like, come on, why have you settled down?
Yeah. What were you doing in the desert for those 30? Yeah. They were like, what were you doing?
32, you're about to be 33, man. You old as fuck.
Yeah. They're like,
grandkids already, you know?
they're like, it's your Jesus year. You better get your life together.
What they told him. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's people lived reasonably long back then. Even it was just the average life expectancy was really short because infant mortality was super high.
True.
So it skewed the results. When like half the new babies die from like because you don't have modern medicine, then it makes it seem like the average age is really young. But if you made it to like age 10, then you were like most people would live to like 50 up to like 80.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Although if you got an infection, you would die.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know about that. I feel like everyone died like really early.
If you got a toothache, like you were kind of done for because they hadn't invented dentistry and
you had to go to.
People were dying off of the smallest things back then. Like,
yeah.
Tuberculosis is pretty common.
So here's, Henry VIII. He was a hypochondriac, and he would wash his hands like all the time, and he actually had some good like health practices because he
washed his hands. Everybody else is like, that guy's crazy, and he's like, I'm gonna wash my hands before dinner. And they're like, all right, weirdo.
Yo, what's wrong? Yo, you gonna wash your hands?
Wash your hands. He's like,
he would wash his hands. Also, I think what was his the one that he didn't kill, like Jane. What was her name? Jane, something. I don't know. The last wife that he had that he didn't end up killing. She got what they call like fever sickness, which is literally just like a head cold.
Well, he didn't kill her because she died, right?
I don't know. He might have died before she did.
Okay.
But she got like a cold, and he moved away from her for like a month. He was like, I'll see you when you're feeling better.
I agree with that philosophy back then. He's not trying to. That was like that COVID-19 probably.
Yeah.
I'm not messing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was really afraid. He was like.
That was
he's like, I'm going to Long Island.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not quarantining with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go upstate. I'm gonna rent an Airbnb for a couple of months.
Yeah. And he actually was pretty faithful to his wives. I mean, he had like a million wives, but like
while he was married to them.
Yeah, because he was afraid of getting syphilis. He was like,
syphilis killed a ton of people back then.
It was called the King's Disease.
It killed King James.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, this all goes back to the Bible. Like, if you look at the Bible is made for people to live a long time.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, don't fuck around because you're going to get sick and die for some kind of sexual.
Yeah, that's why the divorce.
Don't look at somebody else's woman because he could probably try to fuck you up and kill you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, do not.
That's the only one back up.
Do not covet thy neighbor's Yeah. No, we.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Brian Parisi has a joke about the 10 Commandments, and he's like, a lot of them are like, don't worship any other gods, or they're like, don't steal, don't kill. He's like, and then that last commandment, very specific.
Do not covet thy neighbor.
He's like, I feel like the guy who wrote, I feel like Moses had like a really hot wife, and so he just added it was 9 commandments, and he was like, and don't look at my fucking wife, Gary.
Yeah.
Don't covet thy neighbor's wife.
It's real.
Yeah.
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 I mean, sometimes, I think it happens to a lot of people. My ex was a combination of Gabrielle Union and Janet Jackson.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, exactly. And you're a woman saying, oh my goodness, and imagine dudes when they would see her. And she, like, one day I'm going to show you a picture of her, like, Betty Boop. That was her body, too. So it was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I can understand why people would be like, yo, don't look at my girl. I'm not a jealous person, because I believe if you're going to cheat or you're going to do whatever you're going to do, if you don't have that discussion, people are going to do what they do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the Bible should have just been like, yo, you should have at least 2 or 3
Yeah.
Like the Mormons, basically.
Yeah, as king, you can...
That could be your kingdom.
Yeah, your kingdom. You can be like, it's okay. Or you can designate a night. You know, you could be like, all right, Friday nights, don't ask, don't tell.
This is your night off.
As I used to tell my dad, he would get his paycheck on Thursday, and then we wouldn't see him till either Sunday or Monday.
Wow.
I would always say, I guess he had a 3-day affair with no underwear. Because,
That's
3
great.
days, and then he comes back, and you're like, somebody would have some really nasty draws after 3 days. So I'll be like, it's not going to happen. Please don't say.
Yikes.
So I think we all need to have that in some kind of writing somewhere, like, hey, just be who you are, enjoy life. We only get one, especially as royalty,
Yeah. Oh, so on our last thing, do you want to hand me the timer? On that note, we have the King's Speech, which is
we got to get Queen Anne in here, right?
Oh, she's coming in next hour. I think. Yeah,
right.
She's at dinner.
We have some scheduled. We actually have scheduled guests this evening. It's great.
But so do you want to give a 1-minute just speech?
You want a king's speech? You want a decree?
A decree, basically. It's whatever you want to put out there. So we'll give
speak to your subjects on Instagram.
Because that was basically the plot. I was gonna say theme. The plot of the movie, The King's Speech. Except that guy stuttered, and the whole movie they were like, "Don't stutter. You have to give the speech." But you already don't. So we're already, miles ahead
we're
there.
Ahead of Colin Firth.
Well, I used to stutter when I was younger, and she did it now. Until
And you're such an amazing speaker now.
And now you're an excellent public speaker.
So this is even more appropriate. So yeah, you have a minute to his was like a radio address too.
Yeah, in the King's Speech, he's talking to Britain when they're entering World War II and they've been attacked by the Germans or whatever.
Yeah.
And he has to rally the country to get them excited to go to war, but he's very worried about it because of his stutter.
Yeah, and then who's his coach? His coach gets him to he notices he doesn't stutter when he curses, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, just get really angry, just
angry. He has him a comfortable environment.
Yeah, he's like, be comfortable, but also angry.
And he doesn't stutter if he can't hear himself.
Yeah, so they give him noise canceling headphones. They
play loud music in headphones.
Yeah. The noise canceling headphones of that time, just trumpets.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 1 minute.
Okay.
Your speech to rally everyone in your kingdom.
Everyone, men, women, children, midgets, funny-looking people of color, you over there with your big boy and you with no nipples. I just want you all to know that I am here.
Yes.
We all are the best thing this country and this world will ever have. Each and every one of you are special.
It's inspiring.
You are so special that when I declare war on Southern Illinois, I want you all to give it your all. Kill them for me. And if not for me, kill them for your children.
Yes.
And
10 seconds.
And at the end, we all will be one. And all your burial fees will be paid in advance. So just in case.
Yes.
Wonderful. I'm ready to go. Here.
Yeah, here. We'll do a toast.
I'm ready to go to war with Southern Illinois.
Yeah. No, that was. I feel rallied. I feel ready to go.
That's great.
Yeah.
There will be casualties. I'm willing to accept that.
Yeah,
some of you will die, and I will be sad about it.
Maybe, yeah. We'll single tear.
Yeah, I was willing to pay some fuel.
Yeah. Crimea Nile River. Am I right? Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, thank you so much. You are just a treasured guest every time. And we're a guest in your kingdom. Your kingdom, I love.
Gonna walk by my basement when they misbehave.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
You know what? You should lock people in your basement. But you know, locking people in your basement is shitty because that's what's gonna happen now. They're gonna be shitting and peeing.
Oh yeah.
Like,
True.
I would never lock anyone in my basement.
Your house is gonna smell. It's gonna waft up.
Someone else's basement, but definitely not my basement.
True.
Yeah, someone else.
Yeah, you put them in like the Tower of London or something. You have a whole separate place to lock them up.
Yeah, or it's just someone else that you don't like, but you like a little more than them. You're like, hey, at semi-enemies, who has a big basement.
Is that funny in my head?
Yeah.
No, you know what? That's what comedy is, right? Sometimes we think things are funny, and then we're like, oh shit, I didn't think this all the way through.
Yeah,
that's
what.
You know, but yeah.
That's why Louis XIV made all his enemies and everyone move to Versailles and go live with him, so they would be close. So he could keep his eye on them, and then he made them participate in like his bedtime ritual.
Yeah,
it was just like humiliating, and they had to spend all their time doing that stuff.
He's like, look at my calf.
Yeah,
look at my calf.
And watch ballet instead
Yeah.
of plotting against him. He kept them busy. It was misdirection.
He was like, hang on, have you seen my calf today? Have you seen my calf?
Have you seen us dancing? We're going dancing. We're going hunting now. But now we're going to. He was just like, it was like summer camp. He kept everybody super busy, so they couldn't overthrow him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Distraction is the number. Do you know that's what dating is?
It's true.
Dating is a distraction for you not to fuck other people. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, hey, I'm courting you, girl. I'm taking you out. You like this. You love all these restaurants. Oh, you want to go skating? You want to do this? I'm on the phone with you. I'm writing you letters. And all of this is to keep you distracted from other things.
Yeah. And that's what,
I personally just like going to dinner.
That's what Louis XIV, that's what he was keeping his, because it was so many men that he was, that he had his boys he had around. Yeah, he was like, don't get distracted. I'm number one.
Constantly, he's like, you have to watch the ceremony. Now we're gonna have a ball like this Friday night. It's gonna be a masquerade ball. You need to spend $10,000 or the equivalent in French money at the time on like an outfit. He was like constantly doing parties and everything. And he opened everyone's mail. Is the other thing. They also would like any mail to or from Versailles, which is they didn't have phones, so it was the only way to communicate. Yeah, they would open it and like look at what you were saying.
Yeah, that happened actually a lot of mail opening, which is
Yeah. You thought the USPS was having problems. Imagine
carrier pigeons.
To
they
Versailles.
were like,
like he was the subject. Hey man, really sorry about you losing your nut the other day. Like, what? How did you know that? Well, I read your letter, man. Crazy.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Because Rita said it. That's just ridiculous.
Writing in code was really popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I could imagine.
Yeah.
I remember. I mean, I was. I was a romantic fool. I used to write my first girlfriend so many letters.
Yeah.
Just because it was like, I want her to think of me in a random time during the week.
It's so romantic. Letters.
On the damn piece of paper.
It's so romantic though. It's so sweet.
Everybody loves getting mail.
Yeah.
Too. That's the best.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, mailmail is just bills. So definitely I would think that is something better now,
Yeah.
So write each other a letter, letting each other know how you feel. Because I do think it does lose the power via text via the internet. Like, I think it lets show people like, oh, you wrote.
Yeah.
You wrote with your hand? Are you okay?
Yeah. Oh my God. Are you? Well, on that note, get it?
Yeah.
Everybody out there, send your loved one a letter. Send the person you're dating a letter. Send your crush a letter. Send your OkCupid crush a letter.
Thank you
so much for being like, or
royal court.
Thank you for letting us be in your court.
Yeah.
In our court, yes. Oh, well, cheers to you when you get home and you're not driving. This is just soda, by the way. Drink the drink of your choice and have a yes. Drink. Cure yourself. Yeah. Oh. Oh no, a poisoning.
Oh, there he goes.
There he goes.
No, he's dead.
Oh no. All right, we'll see him. We'll see him out. We'll see you. We'll hopefully next week.
See you later.
Have a beautiful night.
Have a beautiful night. Bye. Well,
And there goes the Ray.
who's the Ray?
The
Ray,
Martinez.
the king. So let's talk about.
It's a gorgeous backdrop.
Oh yeah. You mean?
It's fantastic.
Let's talk about. We were on let's see. We were on the first Egyptians. How old the pyramids were.
Yeah.
Right. Pyramids are really old.
Around 2500 BC. What about artists?
Hey.
So we're talking about royalty.
Royalty, and we're
We're
like talking about all the royalties. Let's finish up this hour talking about the royalties,
Okay.
and then next hour we have a bunch
We'll
more.
take a quick little break.
Yeah, because we gotta get through like the ancient worlds.
Do you want to quickly talk about?
Like I guess I would say like up through like Julius.
You're just trying to name all royals in history? Or?
No. You're spending too much time on semantics right now. I got this. I'll steer the ship.
Okay.
Ready? Okay. You ready? Ready? Get in. You strapped in? Okay. So we have pyramids are super old. They were built for like King Tut, who was like a child.
No, they were not King Tut's. King
Well,
Tut was
King
was buried in just like a small like pyramid.
Okay,
King
who
Tut
are
was
the
middle,
main? Okay, who are the main
period.
pyramids for?
That was during the old kingdom, and I forget the name of the emperor, but then the two after him. Each pyramid took about the Great Pyramid took about 20 years.
Yeah.
As what they've calculated. And
So
it
if
was
you
during
started working on a pyramid, you would probably not see it finished. Because you would probably you wouldn't be like 10 and people died, whatever.
It really wasn't that crazy at the time to build it. They've done like an analysis kind of, and actually like
we're getting.
there were about 1 million Egyptians at the time. You only needed about 5,000, 10,000 workers working nonstop to work on it. So it wasn't crazy.
Okay, so those are the pyramids, right?
Yeah.
And then after the pyramids, so wait, because you're the Sun King, King Louis, right? 14th, King, I think it was Imhotep, I think. Imhotep. So he was like the original Sun King, Emperor of Egypt, because he was like, sort of turned everyone's attention away from like worshiping deities, and he was like, we should worship like the sun, and he also saw himself kind of as like a sun-like creature, like yourself. And so, yeah, we have the ancient Egyptians, and then fast forward, how many years between like those?
So Egypt is the Egyptian history, ancient Egyptian history is divided into 3 periods. The early period, the middle period, the late. And so the pyramids were built during the early period, and then like Egypt, it kind of like fell into chaos, and it wasn't really an empire, and then like it formed up again as like a large country with like 1 billion people, and then chaos again, and then so anyway, that gets you about to the Egyptians like they did more stuff. We just really know about the pyramids because that's what was left.
And then where were the Spartans on that?
Spartans and the Greeks, and
they were like in the middle period.
Egypt? That wasn't even the middle period. That by then was like the late period or whatever.
The later one.
Yeah. So that was like because Egypt was conquered.
Yeah.
By the Romans or whatever in the around.
But I'm talking about like the Greeks. Like where is like the 300 take place in all this?
Yeah. So that's around like.
Which period?
The golden age of like Greek civilization is like 500 BC to 300 BC.
Yeah. And so all the like King Leonidas and stuff like that, they were all like also warrior emperors. They were really bad like fighting other people though, because they were really aggressive about fighting. They were like a lot of times Spartan mothers were like, if you're
clearing up some Spartan misconceptions.
So like, first of all, they all had long hair, like super long hair. So 300 with
their crew cuts.
No. They like really long hair, and the mothers would often give their son a shield, and she would say like, either you come back with this or on it, or don't come back from war or whatever. I mean, there's a book of I read of Spartan mother sayings because they were like the badass like bitches that like they would they like raise their sons to be these warriors, but they weren't even like that good because they did want to always bring people back alive. A theme which will come back in the next hour.
So while the Spartans were doing that and just like being good at fighting, I guess the Athenians actually like developed like music and mathematics and art and like drama and live performance and all of that. And they were an actual democracy.
They were the Jews of Greece.
They were the first ever democracy as well. They actually like they did a lot of very cool stuff where they really like had we have a democracy sort of, but it's a republic in that we elect people for our like representatives who then vote on laws. The Greeks really had a direct democracy, and so you would be divided up, and they purposely like you would be in like a group of like 1,000 other citizens, and then like they would join you with other geographic groups from like different parts of the city.
It's like Twitch.
Yeah, so like every like political party you'd be just assigned to a random political party. There was a third people from like the urban center, a third people from the suburbs, and a third people from the country, and then you all would then take turns like basically being the ruling political party. It was wild. So like everybody actually got a say. Although you had to be a citizen, you had to be like a man, and I think probably on property. But.
So those are the Greeks. Like that's where the Greeks
anyway.
fit in, and then there's then like the Romans were like the more
Greek Empire fell. Persians kept invading. Things didn't work out, and then
they were like our rugs.
Rome founded 200 BC, and then you get to basically the Roman Civil War happening right around 60 BC, where Julius Caesar seizes power basically. Rome was a democracy with a Senate, but right after the Roman Civil War became an empire because a king took power and they had an emperor.
And so basically Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, he came to Egypt to try and track down this guy that he was trying to kill.
Tracking down Pompey, his enemy from the Roman Civil War, who escaped from the battlefield.
He escaped many times. But then Cleopatra's younger brother and also husband, Ptolemy the 14th, I think. No, she was Cleopatra the 8th. He was Ptolemy. Ptolemy the 13th or 4th. There are a lot more Ptolemies because Ptolemy's what you name your dudes. Cleopatra's what you name your girls. There were so many. So I think he was like the 14th, 13th, or 14th. He ended up killing this guy that Julius Caesar was after, and so Cleopatra was like, "Ooh, here's my chance to make things right." So she hid in a rug, and she got smuggled, maybe a Persian rug, and she got smuggled into Julius Caesar's hotel. And she came out and she was like, "Hey, you should banish my brother, or kill him or something, and make me the #1 ruler." And she was all sexy.
The number one
yeah,
ruler.
she was all sex. She was like, "Ooh, here's my nipple," or whatever.
I wish I could have been there though. Caesar shows up and he's this, because he and Pompey were friends originally, and so he's "Where is my friend who betrayed me? I've been chasing him for a decade."
Common theme. He might, his therapist
Caesar's
was "You're the common denominator with all these betrayals."
Well, Caesar's trying to hunt them down, and he wants to be "You betrayed me. I'm bringing you back to Rome. You're in prison or something." And he gets there finally to Egypt,
and
where he is, and this kid is "Here's the head."
He's like, "Look what I did."
Of the dude you're looking for. So Caesar was mad.
Caesar was like, "Yo, I'm pissed." And then this hot 19-year-old snuck in this rug, was like, "Ooh, I'm in a rug. Would you like to eat my rug? What's up?"
I don't know about the rug.
She's everybody says that she's hid in this rug to get in there. I mean,
said she was bitten by an asp.
No, but everyone says the rug thing. People are everyone says.
All right. Pics or it didn't happen.
So, right? I was just thinking. I bet she was bedazzled. She had
hieroglyphics.
A hieroglyphic.
Or it didn't happen.
I bet she had a bedazzled she had an ankh. Her bush was shaped into.
I didn't try to carry it. Anyway, they
so
get
she
they get it out
him,
there.
right?
They get the story.
He was cool, you're #1. And she was like, great, I'm going to kill, like, my husband, brother. I think she poisoned him. Her and Julius Caesar had a baby who is named Caesarion, which means Little Caesar.
Yeah, Little Caesar's Pizza.
Yep.
Is named after Caesarion.
Yeah, I think also Caesarean section might be...
No, it was actually Caesarean sections were developed long before.
Okay. Now you know. So, yeah, they had a kid. Then he also made her younger brother co-rulers. He was like 5 or whatever, so they were co-rulers. She poisoned him later, another time. Yeah, and then also
it was a complicated period.
So should we like start the next hour with like how this Julius Caesar and Mark Antony thing ends, and then go into like, you know, should we leave him hanging because that's like a little complicated.
Oh, so we'll get it. Yeah, we'll just explain. We'll set up the cliffhanger real quick.
Yeah.
So, we've got about 2 minutes.
If you want to know what happened with Mark Antony and like how
you didn't explain who he was.
Cleopatra, not the singer. Yeah, he was.
All right. Caesar sleeps with Cleopatra. He goes back to Rome.
Wait, no, we're gonna finish this at the top.
I'm gonna set it up.
Okay.
Caesar goes back to Rome, right?
Yeah.
And then another like 10 years
He's like,
pass.
I just met this hot bitch. She showed me calendars.
Stop. Caesar forms another ruling triumvirate with his like new best friend, not Pompey, Mark Antony, and I don't know, another guy.
We're real short on time.
Oh, okay.
So we're
Caesar
gonna
gets
continue.
murdered.
We're gonna continue this
thing.
in the next hour because we're gonna get booted off Instagram. So we'll be back in like 5 minutes. With more of this, and then like also Marie Antoinette and more guests.
I want more guests. I'm tired of talking about history. This is exhausting. All right.
Okay, wait. Let's pause. We're
gonna take it easy in the next.
I have to have my snake.
Okay, I'm gonna get your snake.
Okay, bye. See you in 5.